This is KRAP News Now. I'm your host, Hugh Jazz. Today we are going to be talking about freshwater biomes, but more specifically, the wetland. And now on to our weather girl, Beatrice. Just go to the weather girl. God.
Thank you, Hugh. I'm climatologist Beatrice Severance, and I'll be talking about climate, not weather, Hugh. The average rainfall of a wetland can range from 180 millimeters to 10,000 millimeters, and the average climate will vary from negative 50 degrees Celsius to 50 degrees Celsius. The temperature and rainfall will vary depending on location, and wetlands can be found on any continent except Antarctica. Back to you, Hugh.
Reporting to you live from the scene is Philip Harden. So, Philip, are there any cacti where you are?
Thanks, Hugh, but we don't have any cacti here. I'm in what's called a wetland. There are two types of wetlands, one of which is a swamp, which has trees like the ones behind me, and one of which is called a marsh, which has grasslands. The trees in this environment include box elders, eastern hemlock, willow trees, sycamores, ironwood, red, black, or white mangroves, pine trees, the invasive salt cedar, buttonbush trees, and many more species in this incredibly diverse ecosystem. If you look over here, this is a cypress tree, and if you can look back behind me, I don't know if you can see it, those are called cypress knees, which are characteristic of this environment. Also,
keep going.
This is called Spanish moss, and it's also very typical in a wetland. The abiotic factors in this environment are what makes it what it is. Water is the most important thing, and all the plants here have adapted so that they can live in this water. And animals and plants here differ from any other plants and animals in any other ecosystem. Reporting to you live from a marsh. Behind me you can see some great examples of cattails and lily pads. Back to you, Hugh.
Now, the moment you've all been waiting for. We're gonna cut to Caleb Barnes with a report on dirt.
Thank you, Hugh. In freshwater biomes, the main types of soil are sand, silt, and clay. A lot of the conditions in the soil are because of the bacteria that live there. The bacteria consume nitrogen and other substances instead of oxygen. They turn the iron found in the soil water-soluble and change its color. These bacteria create hydrogen sulfide, which causes some wetlands to smell like rotten eggs. The bacteria found in wetlands do a poor job of decomposing organic material, so they're very high in the concentrations of that organic material. Wetland soils filter water by reducing amounts of nitrite, removing sediment, and removing positively charged particles. Back to the studio.
More on wildlife. We're gonna cut to our definitely handsome, athletic, amazing, yet single, Jeffrey Owens.
Thanks, Hugh. I'm Jeffrey Owens, reporting to you live from a local marsh. I am here to talk to you about the biodiversity that is within such marsh. Some include alligator, bald eagle, beaver, deer, downy woodpecker, dragonfly, opossum, not just a regular possum, water strider, raccoon, and snake. Specifically, an anaconda or python. Are you going to stop it?
For the more specific types of wildlife, we're going to cut it to Steve Earluz.
Crikey, guys, we got a python here. They're an invasive species that escaped from pet owners that lost track of them. I'm gonna wrestle it. I got it!
With me an expert on environmental problems and statistics on endangered or threatened species, and that is exactly what we're going to talk about. Here we have with us, guy incognito Hugh. Guy, can you tell us more about that?
Yes, I can, Hugh. But first, let's discuss the major reason these species are endangered and threatened. And that is, of course, the loss of their habitat. Humans do destroy quite a few habitats a year, as we all know so well. Other reasons include toxic waste, sewer overflow, and, of course, agricultural runoff poisoning the waters. Some endangered species are the Santa Cruz long-toed salamander, the North American alligator, of which there are only 500 to 1,200 left over in North America, the Chinese egret, and some more species directly from their source, the white-winged wood duck, and the West Indian manatee. And I'm sure we've all heard of how manatees are dying out.
Yes, and can you tell us about any groups that are trying to preserve and conserve these species or this ecosystem? Can you tell us more?
Well, the World Wildlife Federation and the EPA both work very hard to keep these precious biomes intact, but there's nothing they can do against the increasing spread.
Thank you, Mr. Incognito.
Thank you, Jeff.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Hugh.
That is our show. Tune in next week on Desert Biomes. Have a good night. What, did you just take a picture of me?
It's live, Jeffrey. It's live.
Keep it on.
Okay, alright, I'll be serious, I promise.
Definitely put that one in there. Jeffrey! Oh my God, man!
But if you close your eyes...
No, it's more.
I'm trying to hold it up like because I was saying this feeling. Oh my God, that was painful that time.
Stop it!
Oh my God, no.
Jeffrey.
We're going to cut it to Steve Earloo's. Thank God.